A downer of a new BofA fund manager survey. Global growth optimism is at an all-time low. Recession fears surging in the world's investment community. According to that survey, the number of investors expecting the economy to deteriorate is the highest ever. Stagflation expectations jumped to the highest since August 2008. And Emily, this is just not a great report, but very much, I think, fits inside the context of what we're seeing with CPI continuing to be at high levels and the economy continuing to slow down.
Absolutely, Brian. We're seeing a lot of pessimism here from the fund managers that were surveyed here from Bank of America. As you mentioned, really, a lot of these findings are reflecting things that we've been noticing for the past several weeks now when it comes to Fed policy, when it comes to calls for a recession, for stagflation. As you mentioned, those expectations at the highest since August 2008. But when it comes to what fund managers are expecting the Fed to do you want to highlight that they now see the Fed hiking 7 times this year? That's up from 4 times in last month's survey. So this is really consistent with the Fed speak that we've been hearing from the likes of Lael Brainerd, from Mary Daly over at the San Francisco Fed, from what we've been really hearing from a number of Fed speakers when it comes to ramping up this talk of a 50 basis point rate hike in the near term and starting quantitative tightening here. So perhaps a little bit of a lagging response when it comes to what these fund managers are actually saying, but reaffirming, again, many of these trends. And then one other thing I want to highlight here is that investors are now the most net overweight ever for commodities. That was one of the other findings that stood out to me from this survey. And long oil and commodities is the most crowded trade. So perhaps no surprise given what we've been seeing with crude oil, with energy commodity prices overall. But we'll see how long this lasts, since we have seen a little bit of a consolidation here in WTI below that $100 per barrel level. Brian?
Yeah, I'll add one more here, too, just to stay on this downbeat nature of this report, Emily. A majority of investors at 64% expect the S&P 500 to fall below the 4,000 level before rising to the 5,000 level. So just a little nugget for you traders out there to keep in mind as you're digesting this type of report and, of course, that hot CPI print.